Hey rivals, welcome to Bax Attacks. Tonight we're going to look at the Blood Moon event, recap that event, talk about why that was such a good event, what factors made it good, give a shout out to a medium-sized friendly kingdom, and take a look at Lupita as well. But if I could recap the event in one word, it would be wow. The ending of this event was crazy intense. At about 5 and 6 a.m. on Eastern Standard Time, folks were going absolutely nuts trying to not get knocked out of their prize bracket, and it was either nasty or glorious depending which side of the coin you fell on. Back up 1 second. Now this was a Kingdom event introducing a new event currency called crystals. There was a ladder board where with pretty modest effort you could get a great ancient, Lupita, or with a little bit more effort, the top of the ladder board was the full moon pendant, taking Lupita to epic. There was also for this event a very, very competitive leaderboard trying to get the Blood Moon pendant, which would take Lupita to legendary rarity. I was in the Mortality Kingdom for this event, and it did not take them long to get all of the crystals and the full moon pendant at the top of the ladder. They were definitely going for the top 120 and set a minimum of about 4,500 points per person to do that. We had some very generous people in there. Shout out to Pharaoh, who gave this Kingdom bundle gift to the rest of the kingdom. Actually, he gave that several times, so thank you so much, Pharaoh. Another great part of this event was the gold rated bonus, which you could buy from a pretty reasonably priced bundle. Also a really good number of diamonds available for that. And that 20% gold, it was just a race to get as much gold, constantly filling up that gold storage, and even got some red walls and portals done. But for those who did not already have Lupita, the big prize was getting the 150 crystals needed to craft her. It took 12 hours, and then there she was. Booyah! Really been looking to get Lupita for a while, so this is a really exciting moment. If you take a quick look at the full moon pendant, that will bring it up from rare to epic for Lupita. She's already very powerful ancient at rare, and know she's going to be strong at epic, and hard to imagine what she's going to be like at legendary, at least half of the month. Alright, we'll take a deeper look at her next time, but I did want to get her up to a reasonable level. There were definitely stronger bonus points for using Lupin in this event, so I got her up to level 37. And you can see the spells here. The Frenzy is the key one. That first spell just keeps on recasting whenever any of the troops affected take down a building. And the second spell can shut down one of the dangerous towers. So those are the key ones that we'll be using, or that you'll see used in most Lupita videos. So let's take a quick look at the leaderboard about halfway through the event. 1 day, 19 hours left in the event. Dragon Slayers were out to a great start and really pulled ahead of the rest. We see a cluster of several kingdoms between 2 and 5 or 6 there, maybe 7. Mortality War was making an effort for gold, and the rest of the Mortality folks were going for the top 120. See Germania and Italian Elite at the top of the at the interface of the silver range. Just take a quick look at how the other kingdoms were stacking up at this time here. You'll see the top prize for Kingdom Recolor, 2nd to 5th is gold, 6th to 20th is silver, and that 21 to 120 range is the one where you get the Blood Moon pendant. And over the next day and several hours down to the final hours, just a few hours before the end of the event, things looked to be going well. My Kingdom Mortality was up around 70 or 80th in the rank. However, the gap that they had over 120 was narrowing, and in fact, the gap between about Kingdom 20 or 30 and 125 was really pretty narrow. And we knew that as the event got closer, there was going to be a lot of competition. We had no idea, just hours before the event, just how intense it would be. We lost that lead. We got to about to 120 or 121, and in just about an hour or two left, there was just frantic activity trying to increase the score. I set an alarm, got up at 5:30, took a look at the score, and hopped out of bed and tried to do what very little I could. But fortunately, the rest of the guys in Mortality were really on top of things, so really proud of them and how they did here. I just knew a couple of our leaders, like Fred, were just in a cold sweat here. If you look at the scores that are being assembled at the top here, it's just nuts. Almost 900,000 points for first place, For the gold, it took 843,000. That was being hotly contested. For silver, 366,000. And for rank 120, 322,000 points were needed. And this is only 3 minutes left. It would climb another couple thousand in the last few minutes. I really couldn't stop any earlier than this 2 minutes to get a look at the scoreboard. Really close between 5th and 6th, with Westeros right on top of Fury Unleashed. The scores were just that close. Only right here at the end did I feel firm that Mortality was going to get in that top 120. You can see the scores here. If it's too fast, just back it up and take another look to see where your kingdom scored. But look how close those scores are, right from 20 or 30 up to 120. And there's just about 2 minutes left here. We'll take a look at the scores. We have some just absolute beasts here getting 10,000 or more, and anyone below about 4,500 or so, they went and left. There was no one who scored that low in the event. Everyone here really did a great job. So, you know, for 5,000 points, that's about 250 wins over a 3-day period. The average score needed was about 50% more than that, for about 120 stones per day. So quite a bit of activity needed to do well and to get that 120 kingdom mark for the legendary pendant. And since we're not talking an ancient that we're going to leave on the shelf, but that is going to see a lot of use, the competition for that was really very strong. Alright, so really short time left, just a minute left. You can see our score is climbing even over the minutes that we're looking at it here. And I'll just take a quick look in this last minute of a typical attack that I would make with Lucida. Just drop the troops quickly, and again, you're trying to get, you know, a 20-30 second attack if you're really fast, or closer to a minute if you're as slow as I am. Send the troops in, use that first spell, distract the spell towers with the dragon, and as soon as you win, exit out, get the victory. You got to ignore the gold at this point. It's all about the points. Alright, so just 30 seconds now at this point. The Colossal Crystal Bundle is one way to get extra crystals. They will, you'll get to keep them if you have any left over, and we'll get to use these for other unique recipes. We don't know yet how we'll get the crystals. It's thought to be an event currency that we'll mostly get through events. And look, oh my goodness, 4 points separate Westeros and FU. And as we come down to the ending here, what's it going to be? Look at the complete score. Now the thing is, we don't necessarily know if it's complete. Don't know when the prizes will show up either. Let's take a look at that leaderboard. Oh my goodness, wow. High scores, and that is a really, really close finish between 5th and 6th. Alright, so we'll take again another look at the scores so you can see how close things were. The final score for 120 was about 321. And here Hoplite just gets the silver. Look at this, 329 for the Kingdom Arc at rank 39. So the rest of the 80 kingdoms were just packed in super tight and just a few below the 120 line. Boy, my heart goes out to them, because we sure felt like we were going to end up below that line, and it was not a good feeling at the end there. Lots of really strong kingdoms in here. And they all made sure that their players did well. There were minimums that were expected and enforced and to different levels. Vietnam, Pinoy Kingdom, 50 Saints. I am so sorry, guys. You worked really hard. You did very well. Great effort. Sorry there were 123 kingdoms. And the rest of the folks here, they made it over the 100,000 mark, so they got the epic full moon pendant, and we're likely pretty happy with that score. Even those with the 60,000, that was really, if you didn't have Lupita going into the event and got her from this, it was a worthwhile event for folks who did that. And in fact, one of the kingdoms that did that is coming up right here. Canada, number 319. They just made the cut here for that bonus bronze statue chest and a little bit of Primus. And Canada was one of those medium-sized kingdoms that knew they weren't going to get the top 20, but they wanted to do as best as they could on the ladder board. And folks like Arg, the king, Thorfan, SSM, Gunja Joe, many others here did a great job, and I want to give them a big thank you and a shout out for allowing my minis in there. Bax Defends, as well as Bax Jr., Stronghold 9 and 11. And I really wanted to get Lupita with these guys so that you could see how things look at the different stronghold levels with the same ancient. That's something I like to do for several ancients coming up, is to revisit them after the many changes that we've seen and look how effective they are at different levels. So after just a couple minutes, we got this pop-up, the 20,000 Pure Primus. Now, unfortunately, it didn't actually show the awards that we got, but they all came together. The Blood Moon pendant was there. And when I went back to look at the top scores and to see that color change up top, very nice for Dragon Slayers, look at what happened in 5th and 6th place. Fury Unleashed somehow edged out Westeros ITA in the last seconds. There is a little bit of lag in reporting the scoring back to the server. All the points are counted at the cutoff time. The only problem is there was no indication of when these scores were actually final. So Westeros was probably looking at that, thinking we did it, and then just a few minutes later, they saw it was reversed. They were waiting for the gold statue, and they got the silver. So again, my heart really goes out to Westeros. Great group of folks, and really worked hard at that. Looking down at the 120, there weren't any changes there. I don't think that remained stable. And just jumping back down to the end here, Canada was still in 319 place. Now actually there are several kingdoms named Canada, and they're actually independent from each other. The one I was playing with, the king is Arg, and they're associated with Canada 2 as their feeder, and Far Away as their alliance clan. Some great folks over there came over, so again, hats off and big thanks to them. Opening up the bronze statue chest here, another warden. Alright, we'll take that, and let's see that Blood Moon pendant. Take Lupita up to legendary. This is gonna be a fun one. I had enough Primus to get her to 42, I think, but we'll take a look at the stats above level 40 and then going up to legendary. Feel free to pause and look at those in more detail. And the blue numbers those change over the literal lunar cycle of the moon in real time, and it can basically double the effects. So the duration, the damage is significantly impacted, and during a full moon, Lupita is just a beast. Alright, so I asked my kingdom mates to share some good replays using Lupita. And what I noticed them using a lot was a combination of soldiers and wardens. Soldiers have got that physical resistance, good tankiness, good DPS, and the wardens can shoot over them. And with all that healing going on from the frenzy spell, they don't really find the lack of paladins too much. And because that spell is so cheap, mana hunters are not essential with the way they were tending to attack. So if you haven't tried that combination out with Lupita, you may want to give that a whirl. And here's another one versus Terrafina of Dragon Slayers. You can see that unique kingdom color. Looks very nice, I think. And a similar approach. And when you're doing hundreds of attacks, as a lot of the kingdom mates were, they definitely got this down as quickly as possible. They found a troop combination they liked, stuck with it. And I think for the replay purposes here, they picked one where they continued on and took out the whole base. During the event, though, that's not what they did. They would have quit early. And now here is the MVP attack, the most unusual one that I saw from Latalis of Mortality. He's going against Xander 24 of the Pinoy Raiders. And it looks like a pretty normal style attack here. Does not seem to be going too well though. Dragon doesn't make it back, and I'm thinking, oh, he showed me that you can actually fail with Lupita. And I'm wondering, why is this not ending? What's going on here? I can't even see any troops. But it's not ending. And suddenly, my eyes are tired at this point, I notice there's one warden there being shot at repeatedly by the catapult. But look, the health keeps going back up. That's the lycanthropy spell. Spell number 3. It's actually healing faster than the catapult can do damage. And that one warden is taking down the Stronghold 16. That was amazing. Thanks a lot for sharing that replay, Latalis, and thank you so much to my Kingdom members, the whole Mortality family. Just to recap the event, that 3-day Kingdom event, Lupita was available really to many players, and the fact that my minis got them without too much effort shows that was true. The pendant was not too hard, that's a relative term. Anyway, for larger kingdoms, or those with some very active players, they could definitely do that. Top 120 Kingdom was insane. The race for gold was beyond insane, and hats off to Dragon Slayers who are just super insane for going for that top 1 spot. Overall though, good bundles, good boosts, the points were appropriate. The amount of effort needed was kind of up to us, and we decided to put a lot of effort into it, so that's kind of up to the community, and the prizes were definitely worthwhile this time. They are looking to do the Kingdom events just once a month, so I think that's good. They're going to be filling in with individual events, some new formats, lots of fun stuff, and of course we have Relic Wars coming up as well. So we'll have more on the info on that soon, so please subscribe, give a like, give your comments below on what you thought about the event, and as always, thanks for watching.